Dickinson State football went to a tougher conference. Their reward was the highest national ranking the Blue Hawks have had in some time, the number 11 spot. But the new conference brings stiffer competition. Number 25, Carroll College, came to Dickinson. The Blue Hawks defense gets first dibs, and they lowered the boom. Pass going to come over the middle. Jack Hartman, hit stick, bang. But Hartman's message didn't seem to get through to the Carroll offense. Peter Minart gets the handoff. He led the Saints in rushing today. Sticks the landing in the end zone. Carroll strikes first. After that, Blue Hawks throw a pick. Carroll back with it. Caden Hewitt, the former Montana Grizzly. This is a D1 throw in the bucket to Chris Okolshkin. Visitors lead 14-0. Now, the best thing that happened for the Blue Hawks today was probably this play. Rustin Medenwald, true freshman, the Mandan man, gimme that. Rips away the ball, originally called incomplete, but after a challenge, it is ruled a pick. The Blue Hawks take the loss 35-7. Thus far, UND football has either A, lost it last minute in heartbreaking fashion, or B, blown out their opponent entirely. Today, Fighting Hawks fans were treated to the latter. Certainly one way to celebrate homecoming, that's for sure. How about 448 yards of total offense on 70 plays? How about Sawyer Seidel with 3 touchdowns on the day, one of which being a 92-yard kick return? Now here's a pretty good example of how this game went. 4 different players took snaps at quarterback for UND. That's how lopsided this game was. Jerry Kaminsky went 13 of 19 passing with a pair of touchdowns through the air, one of which went to North Dakota native Deng Deng. He's found the end zone 3 times so far this year. UND wins 58-7. Fighting Hawks get next week off. After that, the fun begins. Conference play at Northern Iowa. Should be fun. UMary football blows out Southwest Minnesota State 40-9. Marauders already at 2 wins on the year. That's their win total from each of their last 3 seasons. True freshman Hudson Sheldon with 4 touchdown passes in the win. Minot State still looking for their first win. Beavers fall to 0-4 after losing 35-25 against Winona State. In 6-man football, Partial beats up on Mandaree, while Newtown beats White Shield. The Bismarck Bobcats Robertson Cup defense didn't start as planned last night. The Cats allowed 3 unanswered in the 3rd period and lost their season opener to the Austin Bruins 5-4. Tonight, they get a shot at redemption. But before the party started, Bobcats owner Tom Briggle hit the ice to unveil a banner in honor of former Bobcats head coach Lane Sedevy. A banner now hangs at VFW bearing Sedevy's name and accomplishments throughout his tenure in Bismarck. Now for the fun stuff. Bobcats with the majority of chances early. Charles Kressel, a new guy, get used to that this year. UMass Lowell commit with a nice chance there. Now Nils Morins with his first start of the season in goal for Bismarck. The Latvian stands up Sam Klein, Nebraska native, still tied at 0 in the first. But not for long. Cats leading in shots 7-3, 15 minutes in. Waiting in front for the one-timer, Mark Evans, the Pittsburgh man, scores his first goal as a Bobcat. Now for a little fanciness to close the period, Cooper Williams, another new guy, with the attempt at the Michigan. Cody Butticus gets a blocker on that one, but the Cats get the win. First win of the season, 2-1. Minotauro is heading into overtime with North Iowa. That game is tied at 4. UMary hockey falls to number 9 Drury 4-1. Class B volleyball, a couple of straight set wins. Surrey beats Wilton Wing and Mandaree wins against Standing Rock. Pretty similar results up in NAIA volleyball. Number 4 Providence finishes their Western North Dakota sweep with a 3-0 win against Dickinson State. Bismarck State falls to Montana State Northern, also in straight sets. In NCAA Division II, UMary falls to St. Cloud State. Minot State loses to Minnesota State Mankato. I'm just now realizing all the states. Both of these games settled in straight sets as well. BSC and DSU cross country took part in the Blue Hawk Invitational. The Mystic women finish in 4th with a score of 97. DSU takes 5th. The men for both the Hawks and Mystics did a little bit better. Mystics take 3rd, Blue Hawks 4th.